So this is a redo of the 1AR between David and Pranav at 2015 TOC Finals. There are several adjustments that are made to the 1AR. We will discuss those at a later depth in a separate video. And I'm ready whenever you are, Kirk.
Sure. The order will be the AC first, starting with the framework arguments, then going down to the terms case analysis, the NC framework, ray system disad, then going back to the AC argument about like how a minimum wage is sufficient. I would like signposts, and then if I have time, I go to the economic disad. Starting with the argument that government's obligation comes first, and you should prefer governmental obligations. Ready? Oh wait, I need to go slow, huh? Yeah. One is a fallacy simply because governments are utilitarian doesn't mean they ought to be utilitarian. Your explanation of getting a cross-examination was that governments have an obligation to weigh between different actions, but that doesn't mean why governments also have an obligation to weigh between the different actions. Second, the obligation of government to structure an economy. Third, there's no reason to default to governmental obligation. Governments are racist. Look at the police force, police brutality against class, and also exclusionary. They pay more attention to citizens than non-citizens, which is exactly what my case criticizes. For governments is composed of individuals, which is not a governmental obligation classes individual obligation here. Next argument is that practicality means that useful because the economic class, once you miss the point, extend the cost analysis or distinction between theoretical and substantive knowledge is the most fundamental distinction there is, and how is your options? One, you're not morally responsible as an agent if you're using substantive knowledge. Second, without my framework, there would be no conception of the actions. But even if util is a better moral theory, you can't conceptualize the action, which means that you still have to default to my framework. Also, this is the exact one why alienation concludes extend that. This also means that you win your util framework. I still function, the alienation argument still function as a higher layer on the wing debate under utilitarian. Second, it's not a practicality in a functional sense, but rather practicality in respecting individuals as ends in themselves. Now go to the terms case analysis. The first argument is about economic class. Why this begs the question about the purpose of the economy is my argument is that the purpose is to prevent alienation of the workers. Second, there's no link to the framework because people aren't alienated. The economy classes, rather they will be more included because it destroys a class-based focus. Your second argument is racism terms. One, racism doesn't deal with the problematic engagement of the AC, which comes to a higher level. Two, AC outweighs this question. I allow questioning how to structure moral norms. The AC point is that there's no one respective they're alienated. Does not allow you to view yourself as key to agency. The BC point is that your own right as human is to be respected as an agent. NC framework. Group your profit analysis and also the impacts underneath intuition fail. The AC point is that they lack independent calculation. We don't know independently. We can trust our intuitions. How about all moral starting points need some kind of moral external calibration? The BC points are unreliable. Lots of moral truths contradict our intuitions. The CC point is lack of explanation how they can be reliable, which is that we shouldn't trust them at all. Your next argument is Boston. Why we can assume the moral theory that wins this round is true. Second, I'm meeting because we're deliberating about moral theory right now. Three, this presumes consequentialism matters because it presumes extinction matters. And then sign out Armstrong. One is presumes util is true, and second, my argument is that we should default. We should have obligation. We should have obligation to prevent alienation. To prevent alienation. We're not sure what framework to use. Also, cross my framework arguments against the Boschem and Rawls analysis. If he's making big picture analysis, allow me to make big picture cross application. Don't force me to make cross application everywhere because I'm the winner and you should allow for a meta clash. Racism disad. On the Medina's analysis, one is empirically now we have more deliberation alongside race issues in the past, and second, racism is issue of the class. Only they can ask the question, why are people racist? Framing race in terms of culture is logically circular, based out the universalized resistance to oppression. Recognition 2. The politics of racist segregation are direct proportion of product of capitalism. Turning racism away from an economic to a culture matter, diffuses the issue to a matter of private individual service. Discrimination because of race people circulologically fails to explain what claims to. The common sense of race and capitalism normalizes the unequal classification that produces racism and racism as a tool for increasing profits because it justifies unequal wages on undervalued union workers in the face by exploiters. That's always your option today. Points out yours is a historical analysis on what wages are. While I'll talk about what's happening right now, the reason why I control the root cause. That's a subjective critique argument. Your link argument on the death side makes no sense. Your argument is that people are excluded from from labor unions. However, I'll turn this argument because the alternative minimum wage is worse because you defend the status quo, which means that you defend the minimum wage. These workers lack the buying power they need in order to participate in these labor unions in the first place. In the world of the minimum wage. Now go to the case argument about why minimum wage is pitched as well. First, you can extend the Will so to that this indicates that the market forces alienate workers. But it's not just the price. We have to live up to potential. That's what living wage allows us to do.
Okay, so I think that going a little bit slower definitely increased your efficiency there. But obviously we didn't get to the non-unique at the end with enough time. I think had you had 10, 15 more seconds, that would have been a pretty damning 1AR.
I think I was trying to find my flow and I couldn't find it. That wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
I looked at my timer. I had 15 seconds left after I finished.
And it fell on the ground.
Yeah.
I saw that. Maybe it's because of the fan. But I'll turn that off when we do the redo. In terms of the redo, though, it was fine. Did you feel like that was a better speech than the one David gave?
Yeah, sure, but I think the framework analysis was definitely a little off because I don't know exactly what his framework arguments are, so I tried to reconstruct them as best as I could.
Yeah, I mean, David's explanation of the framework arguments will always be deeper than yours because he wrote the case.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think that given what we had to work with, that was a pretty good speech. So lessons learned. One is that it's really important for you to be comprehensive on the framework debate and to catch tricks like pre-fiat framework triggers that are in the form of the Medina analysis, for example, right? David didn't really do that in the 1AR, and he lost a ballot in finals because of that.
Oh, really? I thought it was because of the economic.
Well, it was both. I mean, yeah, you're right. It may not have necessarily been because of Medina, and he seemed to recover quite fine in the 2AR on the drop analysis about Medina. But the point is, you shouldn't put yourself in the position where the 2NR is giving so much lip service to an argument and appearing very dominant. So yeah, I think that that's the first big lesson learned. Second big lesson learned is that you have now pigeonholed yourself into the situation where you have to win the framework debate to win the round, right? So now you have one way to win the debate, and the 2NR has several different ways to win the debate. So perhaps a more strategic 1AR would be kicking framework, introducing a new theory shell, or uplayering just with a K or something like that. Usually theory shells are how we uplayer in the status quo, and doing that for maybe 30 seconds and then doing 330 of the util debate. Now, in this round, Pranav hedged against that because he knew David wasn't very comfortable on the util debate. So the one end was focused predominantly on framework and less on util. This leaves the 2NR susceptible to a 1AR collapse on the util debate, but it didn't happen in this round because I guess both debaters had the implicit understanding that the 2NR was just going to be stronger on the util debate than the 1AR and the 2AR possibly could. This illustrates the necessity to be multi-versatile. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, so let's do the 2NR.